In this video, we're going to cover a couple topics at the same time. A few people have asked me, well, how should moonshine taste? We're going to go over that, and at the same time, we're going to have a moonshine review on a couple of different products. So, how should moonshine taste? Well, in general, moonshine should taste like anything. And I do mean anything. It has everything to do with what you put into your mash and how you operate your still and what your still is made out of, how you maintain it. Everything that goes into your product will come out in the end flavor. And to better go over this, we're going to have a little moonshine review, and we have a couple of products here. Here we have FullThrottle Saloon Shine Platinum Batch Moonshine. From Michael Ballard. And this is the guy who has the FullThrottle Saloon TV show. And so he decided to get into the moonshine business. Now over here we have, this isn't called moonshine, but I'll put it in the moonshine category, and I'll give you my reasons for doing so. This is simply called the Indiana Whiskey Company, and this is their Silver Sweet Corn Whiskey. And it is made in 150-gallon batches, made from mostly corn. And the reason I would put this in the moonshine category is because, well, I wrote them, I looked them up, I sent them an email saying, hey, I'd like to learn more about your product and review your product, and they gave me this bottle of whiskey. And they told me a little bit about what they're doing, and seen some of their stuff. And I would put this in the moonshine category, right along up there with Popcorn Sutton and anybody else saying they have moonshine, because they have corn whiskey, they have small batches, and if you take a look at the still that they have, you see that this thing is very small, and this is practically all that they have in their company, and they're working out of a very small area. They rent half of a building, an old office building that hasn't been rented in, I don't know, probably years. There's offices in the front half, and there's a small dock in the back half. All they use is the back half, the dock, and they put a little office space in there, and they work in a dock area, and that's all they have. They don't use the front, they don't rent it, they don't pay for it, they don't use it. And because this operation is so small, I consider this to be put in the moonshine category. Well, now, how do these two compare? Well, we'll have a little comparison here. Here we have the Saloon Shine. And right off the bat, it doesn't impress. The smell doesn't impress. The taste doesn't impress. This tastes like stuff that I started making 20 years ago when I had my first still, and I didn't know what I was doing. And no, I mean, if you're looking for the moonshine experience, okay, I would consider this Prohibition shine. Why? Because during the Prohibition times, they were just taking stuff, anything they could, and making their moonshine, gin, you know, whatever they could get. You know, even the product that even the good quality products that were coming across the river in Detroit from Canada, that was getting watered down by the Purple Gang. And you know, even the good quality products were watered down, and the quality was brought down, and even that stuff was questionable. And this is where I put this. I put this along Prohibition shine. This is yeah, every drink I take. Now I did have a taste where, okay, I could almost detect some potential in there, but it tastes like a rush job. This is what I expect the beginner distillers to be making. The quality is not up there, and you know, it really gets me to wondering about this. I mean, look at the packaging on here. To me, after tasting this, it's like all hype. Platinum moonshine. Well, what's platinum about it? I don't get it. The label is fancy. The bottle, moonshine-ish. You go to the website and it says, "Here's a man that knows real moonshine," and there's a lot of key words that they like using. I mean, I've tried to do as much research as I can on this, and I can't even be sure about what they're using for a still. They're saying that they use you know, old-fashioned copper still. That the wording might not be an exact quote, but you know, they're trying to be as genuine moonshine as possible. You know, and I get conflicting pictures. I get conflicting information. I really don't have anything to go on these people. I don't know how many times this product is distilled. I've asked them for some information. The still that they have on their website is not an old-fashioned still. It has a reflux column on it, and that's not old-fashioned real moonshine. They even use I even seen a video where they're using terms as in like quality, not quality, not platinum, but they're saying, you know, that this is in a class all by itself. It's supposed to be premium stuff. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. What I'm seeing is 99% hype and 2% concentration on the actual product, and I can't even be sure what moonshine still they're using. I look at one picture on their website, and it's got the fluted reflux column, and I look at another picture, and that looks like a genuine moonshine still. But then I look at a picture from Old Smoky, and their still looks exactly like the still that they're standing next to in other pictures that I've hunted down. And this product disappoints me. Okay, that's all I can say. It disappoints me. I would place it my last moonshine review, where I reviewed Old Smoky, I placed this at the bottom of my list. Where do I place this? I place this right above this one. The reason I think that this is a poor product is because I thought it tasted like the stills were not clean before they used them. Whereas this one, I'm not tasting that, but it tastes like a rushed job. this is what I was making 20 years ago when I had no information and still being able to distill my own alcohol. So now let's get to the Indiana Whiskey Company. Now, their product, like I said, I consider this moonshine because it's a corn whiskey and their operation is so small. The still is so small, and that's why I put this in a moonshine category. Everything about them, you know, they could slap a moonshine label on here, but they choose not to. They could use fancy lettering and fancier bottles. Well, they choose not to. It's very similar to the Midnight Moon bottle. Very similar. The Midnight Moon, I think they do an excellent job keeping things simple. I think Old Smoky does an excellent job of keeping things simple on the outside. Whereas the FullThrottle is just, like I said, 98% glitter and 2% effort. Now, the Indiana Whiskey Company, their product smells almost like this does. And this had a very clean, almost too clean of a product. But the taste is, I would consider this to be the people. These are the people setting the goal. These are the people setting the standard for distilling corn whiskey. This has the taste that you expect in an everyday, off-the-shelf, aged whiskey. This is almost comparable to Jim Beam. It's that good. And like I said, they're still as small. They distill their product twice, whereas these guys, they distill their product 3 times, and then it's like overkill. It strips all the flavor out of it, where this is distilled twice, and it still leaves a very good flavor in it. I would dare say that they have a couple other things in there besides corn. I would dare say that they have rye in this, and possibly wheat, but I'm not sure. I would say it probably do have rye. If I was a betting man, I would bet that they have rye in this. And comparing these two, these guys went all out and, built a brand new facility, got brand new equipment, and top of the line everything, top of the line labeling, top of the line advertising, and the product inside does not match the product outside. Well, on the other hand, the product inside is definitely better than the product outside. And this is what moonshine should taste like. And when I say that, I mean it should taste the absolute best that you can get out of a still. I mean, if you're getting this out of your still, okay, you're off to a wonderful start. Should that be what moonshine tastes like? Yes, to a degree. If it's your first time and you get something that tastes as good as this, wonderful, you're on the right page. But if you get something that tastes as good as this, you, my friend, have done exceptional work. And if I was putting something out this good, not even I'm putting out something this good. I'm putting out something better than this, but not better than this. So there we have it. And where would I put this on my scale? I put this, the last review, I had this at the bottom, and I had Midnight Moon at the top. Where would I put this? I would put that in first place above Midnight Moon.